Sometimes loyalty means protecting the people you love from those who hurt them. Sometimes standing up for family means making the hard choices they can't make themselves. This is the story of how watching my brother's heart break over money made me question what family really means. My name is James, and I'm 30 years old. My oldest brother Michael is 44, and for the past year, I've watched our family embrace the woman who destroyed him while he silently suffers. I can't take it anymore. Let me start from the beginning, with the brother who raised me. Michael is the oldest of 4 siblings. I'm the youngest. There's 14 years between us. Growing up, we didn't have a dad. He left when I was 2 years old. Just walked out one day and never came back. My mom did her best, but she was working 2 jobs just to keep us fed. She was exhausted all the time. Michael stepped up. He was only 16 when Dad left, but he became the man of the house. He helped raise us, made sure we did our homework, walked us to school, made dinner when Mom worked late. He gave up a lot of his teenage years to take care of us. His friends were out having fun. He was home making sure we were okay. I owe Michael everything. He's not just my brother, he's the father figure I never had. Michael is gentle, kind, the type of person who apologizes when someone bumps into him, who gives money to homeless people, who helps old ladies carry their groceries. He's also ambitious, hardworking. He's always had big dreams. After we all grew up, Michael started his own business. He wanted to be an entrepreneur, to build something from nothing. It's been a roller coaster. Some years are good, some years are rough, but he never gives up. About 8 years ago, Michael met Victoria. Victoria was beautiful, confident, the kind of woman who lights up a room when she walks in. Michael fell hard. He was completely in love. They moved in together after 6 months. Everything seemed perfect. We all liked Victoria at first. She was charming, funny, seemed to really care about Michael. But slowly, I started noticing things. Victoria had expensive taste, designer clothes, luxury vacations, the best restaurants. She'd make comments about Michael's income, about how they couldn't afford certain things yet, about how successful her friends' boyfriends were. When we're making real money, she'd say, not if, when. Like it was guaranteed. Like Michael owed her that lifestyle. Michael worked harder, took on more clients, pushed himself to exhaustion trying to build his business bigger and faster. He wanted to give Victoria everything she wanted. 4 years into their relationship, Victoria got pregnant. We were all excited. A baby! The first grandchild in our family. But Victoria had conditions. She told Michael she wouldn't marry him until he could afford a certain type of ring, at least 15,000 pounds. Platinum, 2 carats minimum. She wanted a specific type of wedding. Big venue, 200 guests, designer dress, the works. She estimated it would cost at least 50,000 pounds. Michael didn't have that kind of money saved. His business was doing okay. He was making decent income, but not enough to drop 65,000 pounds on a ring and wedding. That's okay, Victoria said sweetly. We can wait until you're more successful. The baby was born 3 years ago. A beautiful little girl named Lily. Lily is perfect, sweet, funny, the light of our entire family's life. We all adore her. She's at every family gathering, every holiday, every birthday party. Michael is an amazing father. He does everything for Lily. Changes diapers, does middle-of-the-night feedings, plays with her for hours. He's the dad he never had. But Victoria started getting more demanding after Lily was born. She wanted a bigger house, in a better neighborhood, with a garden and a home office. She wanted a new car, something luxury. For Lily's safety, she'd say. She wanted private nursery school, the best that money could buy. Michael was making good money, maybe 120,000 pounds a year. That's more than most people make. But it wasn't enough for Victoria. She wanted 250,000 pounds a year, minimum. That was her number. That's when we'll be comfortable, she'd say. That's when we can really live. Michael worked himself to the bone trying to reach that number. He'd work 12-hour days, weekends. Barely saw Lily because he was always working. Some years he'd get close, maybe hit 200,000. But it wasn't consistent. And consistent was what Victoria wanted. Guaranteed high income, every single year. The comments got worse. Your business is too unstable. My friend's boyfriend is a lawyer. He makes 300,000 a year, guaranteed. When are you going to get a real job? A real job. Like his business wasn't real. Like his hard work didn't matter. I saw what it was doing to Michael. He was exhausted, stressed, starting to look older than his years. But he never complained, never got angry at Victoria, just kept working harder. About a year ago, everything fell apart. Michael had a bad business year. A few big clients didn't renew contracts. A deal fell through, things that happen in business. He still made decent money, maybe $90,000 that year, still more than most people. But it wasn't enough. Victoria sat him down one evening, told him she was done waiting. "I can't do this anymore," she said. "I need stability. I need security. You can't give me that." Michael begged her to stay, promised he'd work harder, said next year would be better. But Victoria had made up her mind. "I'm not getting any younger," she said. "I need to think about my future, about Lily's future." She left him, moved out, took Lily with her. Michael was destroyed. He called me that night. I'd never heard him cry before, not even when Dad left. But he sobbed on the phone, said he'd failed, said he wasn't good enough. "You didn't fail," I told him. "She did. She gave up on you." But he wouldn't hear it. Blamed himself entirely. The worst part? Our family didn't cut Victoria off. My mom still calls her regularly, invites her to family dinners. My sisters still hang out with her, post photos on social media together. Victoria is still invited to every family event, every holiday, every celebration. It's like nothing changed. Like she didn't just break my brother's heart. 6 months ago, my sister Emma got engaged. We were all excited for her. But when Emma started planning the wedding, she asked Victoria to be a bridesmaid. I couldn't believe it. "Why would you do that?" I asked Emma. "Because she's family," Emma said. "She's Lily's mom. We can't just cut her out." "She left Michael because he didn't make enough money. She's not family." Emma looked uncomfortable. "It's complicated, James. She's still Lily's mom. We don't want to create drama." Drama. Like Victoria leaving Michael wasn't drama. I went to my mom, asked her why she was still so close with Victoria. "She's Lily's mother," Mom said. "We need to maintain a relationship for Lily's sake." "You can have a relationship for Lily without being Victoria's best friend." Mom sighed. "James, I know you're angry, but this is how it has to be. For Lily. Always for Lily." Like that was an excuse for everything. Don't get me wrong. I love Lily. She's innocent in all this. She didn't ask for any of this. But Victoria is using Lily as an anchor, as a way to stay connected to our family even after leaving Michael. And Michael says nothing. Does nothing. He's too gentle, too afraid of conflict, too traumatized from our childhood without a father. He doesn't want Lily to grow up with family drama, doesn't want her to feel the absence of family like we did. So he accepts it. Smiles at family gatherings when Victoria is there, acts like everything is fine. But I see the pain in his eyes, the way he looks at her, the way he tenses up when she talks. It's killing him slowly. Last month was Emma's wedding. Victoria was there. In the wedding party, smiling in all the photos. Michael was there too, looking handsome in his suit, smiling for pictures. But I watched him all night, saw how he avoided Victoria, how he'd leave a room when she entered. At one point, I found him outside, alone, staring at nothing. "You okay?" I asked. He forced a smile. "Yeah, just needed some air." "You don't have to pretend with me." His smile faded. "I'm fine, James. Really." "No, you're not. She's in there dancing and laughing like she didn't destroy you. She's Lily's mom. She deserves to be here. She left you because you didn't make enough money. That's not okay." Michael looked at me, really looked at me. "What do you want me to do? Ban her from family events? Make everyone choose sides? Make Lily grow up in the middle of family drama? I want you to have some self-respect. I want our family to respect you enough to set boundaries." It's not that simple. It is that simple. She doesn't get to have it both ways. She doesn't get to leave you and keep the family. Michael shook his head. "James, please, don't make this harder than it already is." He walked back inside, left me standing there, frustrated and angry. That night, I made a decision. If Michael wouldn't set boundaries, I would. I started with myself. I stopped responding to Victoria's messages, stopped liking her social media posts, stopped acknowledging her at family events. When she tried to talk to me at Emma's wedding, I gave one-word answers, then walked away. She noticed. Of course she noticed. Is James mad at me? she asked my sister Sarah. Sarah came to me later. What's going on? Victoria says you're being cold to her. I am. Why? Because she left Michael for not making enough money. Because she's using Lily to stay connected to this family. Because it's disrespectful. Sarah frowned. James, this isn't your battle to fight. Someone needs to fight it. Michael won't. That's his choice. His choice is to avoid conflict at all costs, even when it hurts him. Sarah sighed. Look, I get it. You're protective of Michael. We all are. But shutting Victoria out isn't going to help anything. Maybe not. But at least there will be some consequence to her actions. Word spread through the family. Everyone had opinions. My mom called. James, you need to be civil to Victoria. I am civil. I'm just not warm. You're making things awkward. She made things awkward when she left Michael for money. That's between them. Don't make it a family issue. It became a family issue when you all decided to keep her around. My mom was quiet for a moment. I understand you're upset, but think about Lily. Always Lily, the trump card. I am thinking about Lily. I'm thinking about what she's learning, that it's okay to use people, that money is more important than love. That's not fair, James. Maybe it wasn't fair, but I was tired of everyone pretending this was normal. My other sister Rebecca called next. You're being unreasonable, she said. How? Victoria is still part of this family. She's Lily's mom. We can't just cut her out because things didn't work out with Michael. Things didn't work out? That's how you're framing this? She left him because he didn't make enough money. She treated him like a bank account. That's your interpretation. Maybe they just weren't compatible. Not compatible? They were together for 8 years. They have a child. They were fine until he didn't meet her income requirements. Rebecca sighed. Look, relationships are complicated. We don't know everything that happened between them. I know enough. You're making this harder for everyone, especially Michael. That gave me pause. What do you mean? He's asked us to maintain relationships with Victoria. For Lily, by fighting this, you're going against what he wants. I didn't have a response for that. Because she was right. Michael had asked everyone to stay connected to Victoria, had explicitly said he didn't want family drama. But watching him suffer in silence while everyone acted like nothing happened felt wrong. That evening, I called Michael. Can we talk? I asked. Sure, what's up? I need to know something. Honestly, do you really want Victoria at every family event? Or are you just saying that to avoid conflict? Michael was quiet for a long time. Why are you asking? Because I can't watch this anymore. I can't watch her waltz through our family like she didn't break your heart. While you stand there and take it. James? No, let me finish. You raised me. You were more of a father to me than our actual father. You sacrificed your teenage years to take care of us. You're the best man I know. And watching Victoria treat you like you're not good enough makes me sick. I could hear Michael's breathing on the other end. She left you because of money, I continued. Not because you did anything wrong. Not because you weren't a good partner or father. Because you didn't make enough money. That's disgusting. I know, Michael said quietly. Then why are you okay with her still being around? Because I'm not willing to sacrifice my relationship with Lily. If I make waves, if I demand the family choose sides, Victoria could make it harder for me to see Lily. My heart sank. She's threatened that? Not explicitly, but I know her. If I push too hard, she'll push back, and I can't risk losing time with my daughter. I understood then. This wasn't about Michael being too gentle. This was about him being trapped. I'm sorry, I said. I didn't realize. It's okay. I know you're trying to protect me, and I appreciate it. But the best thing you can do is just let it go. I don't know if I can. I need you to try. For me. Please. We talked for another hour. Michael explained everything. How custody worked. How Victoria had leverage. How he was doing everything he could to maintain a relationship with Lily. By the end of the call, I felt defeated. I wanted to protect my brother, wanted to make Victoria face consequences. But doing that might hurt Michael more than help him. The next family dinner, Victoria was there, laughing with my mom, playing with Lily. I watched Michael across the room. He was smiling, talking to our uncle, acting normal. But every so often, he'd glance at Victoria. And in those glances, I saw everything. The pain, the loneliness, the quiet heartbreak. And I realized something. Michael was one of the strongest people I knew. Not because he could fight back, but because he could endure, could put his daughter first even when it hurt. I walked over to Victoria that night, took a deep breath. "Hey," I said. She looked surprised. "Hey, James." I wanted to apologize. "I've been cold to you lately. That wasn't fair." Victoria's eyes softened. "It's okay, I understand. This situation is hard for everyone." I nodded, forced a smile, walked away. It felt like swallowing glass. But I did it for Michael. Later, Michael found me in the kitchen. "Thank you," he said quietly. "For what?" "For trying. I know that was hard for you." I looked at my brother, this man who raised me when no one else would, who gave up his own dreams so I could have a chance at mine. The lines on his face told stories of sleepless nights, hard work, and quiet sacrifices that no one ever thanked him for. He deserved peace. He deserved kindness. He deserved so much more than the constant struggle life kept throwing his way. "You're the strongest person I know," I told him, my voice trembling with a mix of pride and sadness. Michael smiled a real, genuine smile, the kind that lit up his tired eyes. "I learned from the best," he said softly. "We survived everything as kids. We'll survive this too." He was right. We always had. We'd learned how to get through chaos, how to keep standing even when life was unfair. But surviving isn't the same as living. And deep down, I wished he didn't always have to be the one carrying the weight. I thought that would be the end of it. That I'd accepted the situation. That I could move forward watching Victoria exist in our family space without feeling that anger burning in my chest. But life had other plans. 3 months after Emma's wedding, something happened that changed everything again. Victoria started dating someone new. A man named Richard. A corporate lawyer. Early 50s. Divorced. No kids. Rich. Very rich. She met him through a mutual friend. They'd been dating for 6 weeks when she introduced him to Lily. Michael found out through Lily. His 4-year-old daughter came home from Victoria's house talking about Mommy's special friend, Richard. "He has a big house," Lily told Michael, "with a pool and a dog. Mommy says we might move there." Michael's face went pale when he told me this. We were having coffee at his flat. The same small flat he'd been living in since Victoria left. "She's already introducing him to Lily," he said. His hands shook slightly around his mug. "After 6 weeks. That's fast," I said carefully. "We were together 8 years. She wouldn't marry me, wouldn't commit fully. Said I needed to prove myself first." His voice cracked. "She's known this guy 6 weeks and Lily's already meeting him." I didn't know what to say. What could I say? "Do you know what the worst part is?" Michael continued. "I'm happy for her. Part of me is actually relieved that she found what she was looking for, because maybe now she'll stop dangling herself in front of me at every family event." "You're not happy for her," I said. "You're just tired." Michael nodded slowly. "Yeah, I'm tired." 2 weeks later, Victoria posted on social media a photo of her and Richard at some fancy restaurant. Champagne, candlelight, her hand on his chest showing off a massive diamond ring. Not an engagement ring, just a gift. "Because he spoils me," the caption read, with heart emojis. That ring was bigger than anything Michael could have afforded. Probably cost more than his car. The comments rolled in. My sisters commented, my mom commented, everyone congratulating Victoria. Everyone happy for her. No one seemed to remember that a year ago she'd left Michael because he couldn't afford that lifestyle. I stared at that post for hours, read every comment, watched as person after person celebrated Victoria's new relationship. Michael didn't comment, didn't like the post, probably didn't even look at it, but I knew he'd seen it, because the next time we met for coffee, he looked even more exhausted than before. "Everyone's so happy for her," he said quietly. "Mom called her yesterday. They talked for an hour. About Richard. About how excited she is." "Did Mom ask how you felt about it?" Michael shook his head. "Why would she? This is Victoria's life now. I'm just Lily's dad. The guy who didn't make enough money." The bitterness in his voice was new. Michael never sounded bitter. Never sounded angry. "You're allowed to be upset," I told him. "What good does that do? She's moved on. Found someone who can give her what she wanted. I should be happy for her. For Lily's sake. Stop saying that. Stop pretending this is fine. What choice do I have, James? Tell me. What am I supposed to do?" I didn't have an answer, because he was trapped. Completely trapped. If he showed anger, he'd look petty. If he set boundaries, he'd risk his relationship with Lily. If he asked the family to choose sides, he'd be the one causing drama. So he stayed silent, kept his pain private, continued showing up to family events with a smile plastered on his face. A month later, Victoria brought Richard to a family gathering. Sunday lunch at Mom's house. The whole family was there. I watched Richard walk in, expensive suit, confident handshake, the kind of man who's used to being the most successful person in any room. He greeted everyone warmly, shook Michael's hand. "Great to finally meet you," Richard said. "Victoria speaks so highly of you as Lily's father." Michael smiled politely. "Good to meet you too." I watched this interaction from across the room, felt my stomach turn. Victoria was glowing, hanging on Richard's arm, introducing him to everyone. She looked happier than I'd ever seen her with Michael. Throughout lunch, Richard talked about his work, his cases, his success. He wasn't bragging exactly, but he made sure everyone knew he was doing well. Very well. He mentioned his house in the countryside, his flat in London, his boat, his upcoming holiday to the Maldives. "We're taking Lily with us," Victoria announced. "Richard's invited both of us. It'll be Lily's first international trip." Everyone oohed and awed. How generous, how wonderful, how lucky Lily was. Michael sat there, quiet, nodding when appropriate, smiling when expected, but I saw his knuckles go white as he gripped his fork. After lunch, I found Michael in the garden. He was standing by Mom's rose bushes, staring at nothing. "You okay?" I asked. "Did you hear that? The Maldives. First class. Private villa." She couldn't wait to tell everyone. "She's rubbing it in your face." No. She's just happy. She finally got what she wanted. The life she dreamed of. And I couldn't give it to her. "Michael, stop. This isn't about you not being good enough. This is about her priorities being messed up." He turned to look at me. "Is it though? Look at Richard. He's successful, stable. He can provide security. Everything Victoria wanted. Everything I couldn't give her. You were making 6 figures. You were providing plenty, but not enough. Never enough." He ran his hand through his hair. "You know what kills me? Richard's older than me. Nearly 10 years older. But he looks younger. Know why? Because he's not stressed. He's not working himself to death trying to prove his worth. He just exists. And that's enough. You're enough too. Am I? Because right now it doesn't feel like it." We stood in silence for a while. Then Michael spoke again. "I need to tell you something." I didn't want to say anything yet, but I can't keep it in anymore. My stomach dropped. "What is it?" Victoria's asked if Lily can start spending more time at Richard's house. She says it's because the house is bigger, has more space for Lily to play. But I know what it really is. "What?" "She's transitioning Lily into a new life, a better life, with Richard. And eventually, I'll just be the guy Lily sees every other weekend. You have custody rights. She can't just... She's not doing anything illegal. She's just slowly shifting Lily's life away from me, making Richard the stable presence, the provider, the father figure." The words hung in the air between us. "That's not going to happen," I said firmly. "You're Lily's father. No amount of money changes that." "Money changes everything, James. I learned that the hard way." Before I could respond, Rebecca called us back inside. "Time for cake. Time to celebrate something." I don't remember what we were celebrating. Everything blurred together. That night, I lay awake thinking about everything. About Michael, about Victoria, about how money had destroyed something that should have been sacred. I thought about all the times growing up when Michael sacrificed for us, when he gave up dates to stay home with us, when he worked part-time jobs to help Mom pay bills, when he skipped meals so we could eat more. He'd given everything. For us, for his family, for people he loved. And Victoria had looked at all that love and dedication and said it wasn't enough, because his bank account didn't match his heart. The next morning, I made a decision. One I probably should have made a long time ago. I called my mom. "We need to talk," I said. "About Victoria, about Michael, about everything." Mom sighed. "James, please don't start this again." "I'm not starting anything. I'm finishing something that should have been finished a year ago." "What does that mean?" "It means I need to understand something. Why is Victoria still invited to everything? Why is she treated like family when she made it clear she doesn't want to be part of this family? She's Lily's mother. I know that. Everyone keeps saying that. But there's a difference between co-parenting civilly and including her in every single family event. There's a difference between being polite for Lily's sake and actively maintaining close friendships with her." Mom was quiet for a moment. "What do you want me to say?" "I want you to admit that you're choosing Victoria's comfort over Michael's pain." That's not fair, isn't it? Michael sits at family dinners watching his ex-girlfriend parade around with her rich boyfriend, watching her show off the life she left him to find. And everyone acts like this is normal, like he should just accept it. He has accepted it. He's asked us to maintain relationships with Victoria because he's scared of losing Lily, not because he's okay with any of this. I heard Mom take a deep breath. James, I love Michael. You know I do. He's my son. But I also have to think about Lily, about maintaining stability for her. Stability for her? Or comfort for everyone else? What's that supposed to mean? It means it's easier to pretend everything's fine, easier to keep Victoria close and avoid awkward conversations, easier to sacrifice Michael's feelings than risk any confrontation. You're being unfair. Maybe. But someone needs to say it. Because Michael won't. He'll just keep quietly suffering while everyone else moves on. We argued for another 30 minutes. Mom insisted she was doing her best. I insisted her best wasn't good enough. We didn't resolve anything. Just went in circles. Eventually, we both gave up and hung up. But the conversation planted seeds. In both of us. Over the next few weeks, things started shifting. Subtly. Almost imperceptibly. Mom started calling Michael more often, checking in on him, actually asking how he felt. My sister started posting fewer pictures with Victoria, stopped commenting on her social media quite as enthusiastically. Nobody said anything directly. Nobody made announcements. But the energy changed. Victoria noticed. Of course she noticed. At the next family gathering, she seemed more subdued, less performative. She brought Richard, but they didn't stay long. We have dinner plans, Victoria explained. But we wanted to stop by and see everyone. She hugged Mom goodbye, waved to everyone else, and left. After they were gone, the atmosphere relaxed. People breathed easier, laughed louder. Michael noticed too. He pulled me aside later. Did you say something to everyone? He asked. Maybe. James, you asked me to let it go. I did. But that didn't mean I couldn't say how I felt. And apparently other people felt the same way. Michael looked conflicted. I don't want there to be sides. There don't have to be sides. But there can be boundaries. You can co-parent with Victoria without her being central to every family event. What if she uses this against me? What if she limits my time with Lily? Then we'll deal with that. But you can't live your life afraid of her. You can't keep sacrificing your dignity because you're scared. Michael didn't respond. But I saw something shift in his eyes. Something like hope. The next few months continued the trend. Victoria came to fewer family events. When she did come, she didn't stay as long. Richard stopped attending altogether. It wasn't dramatic. Nobody sat Victoria down and told her she wasn't welcome. Nobody had a big confrontation, but the family stopped centering her, stopped prioritizing her comfort over Michael's. And slowly, Michael started healing. He smiled more, laughed more, started talking about his business with enthusiasm again. He even started dating. Nothing serious, just coffee here and there with women he met through work. I'm not ready for anything serious, he told me. But it's nice to feel like someone might want me again. Not for my bank account. Just me. I watched my brother come back to life. Slowly. Piece by piece. It wasn't perfect. He still had hard days. Still had moments where he'd see Victoria with Richard and feel that old pain. But he was no longer drowning in it. No longer defining himself by what he couldn't provide. One evening, about 8 months after Richard entered the picture, Michael and I were having dinner at his flat. Lily was there. She'd fallen asleep on the couch after playing all evening. She's getting so big, Michael said, watching her sleep. Sometimes I can't believe she's mine. She's lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have her. He paused. You know what's funny? Victoria was right about one thing. I couldn't give her the life she wanted. But I can give Lily everything she needs. Love, time, presence. All the things that actually matter. That's all that ever mattered. Michael nodded. I know that now. Took me a while. But I know it now. We sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then Michael spoke again. Thank you. For what? For not giving up on me. For fighting for me even when I asked you not to. For reminding me that I'm worth more than my bank account. You never needed reminding. You just needed space to remember it yourself. Michael smiled. Still, thank you. Looking at him now, really looking at him, I saw someone different than the broken man from a year ago. He was still gentle, still kind, still the brother who raised me. But there was something new too. Something stronger. Something that came from surviving pain and coming out the other side. Lily stirred on the couch. opened her eyes, saw her dad, and smiled that beautiful 4-year-old smile. "Daddy," she said sleepily, "can we have pancakes for breakfast?" "Absolutely," Michael said, walking over to scoop her up. "Anything you want, sweetheart." She wrapped her arms around his neck. "I love you, Daddy. I love you too, Lily, more than anything in the world." And watching them together, my brother and his daughter, I realized something important. Victoria had left looking for a richer life, but she'd left behind something priceless. This moment, this love, this bond that no amount of money could buy. Michael had lost a relationship, but he'd kept the only thing that really mattered, his daughter's heart. And in the end, that made him wealthier than Richard could ever be.